necessarily Chen. It was Chen fulfilling a bit of a niche role and a very specific role within that 5-man that allowed the strategy to work.
Yeah.
So I don't think that necessarily is an indication of him being too strong.
And that was a meta where we didn't have much crowd control being available, so you're trying to punish that. Let's go into game number 2 as we head into Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines, map picked by Team Liquid, so we're having first pick scenario for the leftovers. They ban, obviously, Genji, since they want Tracer. Very unlikely that Team Liquid allows them to get Tracer.
I'm actually curious to see if we get Sonya on this battleground. We didn't have any Infernal Shrines yesterday, and we also had 0 Sonya picks. My question being if Yrel is just too much of a bully that we don't even see Sonya much anymore.
I don't think that we're going to see Sonya anytime soon with this, because we have Yrel now, Blaze, both of them are fantastic, and then when you talk about Infernal Shrines, well, Sonya is a bit stronger here. That also applies to Leoric. So with Leoric, you can all of a sudden try to get a bit more control, a bit more wave clear. But yeah, Yrel making it even into a first pick position. So leftovers still respecting the heroes. The question that we had in game 1, since they picked Blaze so early. But they just said that for Volskaya, Blaze is the better choice.
Makes me sad.
Why does that make you sad?
I miss Sonya, man.
Oh, the Sonya part. I was just like, why does it make you sad? That
Your entire thought just saddened my day completely.
I was just like, it's great that on certain maps, other heroes get a priority. That's how it's supposed to
That's
work.
how it works. It's competitive play.
With Sonya, I think you're looking more so towards the burst damage. So depending on the composition that you choose, if you go around a Poisons and Spear play, I mean, you still have sustain on the Shrine itself if you pick her here. So it's a great map for her. But I think if you choose Sonya, then you also do it because you want her in a position where she can get the damage. And there she is. So we might see exactly that.
I'm no longer sad. I'm happy now.
But this is exactly what I think they're going to try and do. You go for Poison Spear on 7 and you're going to try and get those kills with her. In that scenario, she's better than Blaze. Blaze has the CC and has more of a protective layer on the Shrine. But if you're looking for a kill, then Sonya allows you to get the on-point damage that Blaze just doesn't have to the same extent.
Drafting compositions to pull off a strategy. That is just insanity, Caldor. You need to be careful with your analysis over there. Why would you ever do that? You mean try to be linear in your strategy with 5 heroes?
Thinking about what you play?
Why would you do that?
But, I mean, following that line of thought, I think that means also that if you go into a Sonya, it's very likely that you're trying to add a bit more burst damage to that set.
Yeah.
So we are probably going to see them run, let's say, with a bursty mage or something along those lines, just someone that can drop a bit more damage on it. Then you get a flip with Diablo, you're getting the Poison Spear follow-up with Sonya, and you're trying to blow a target up quickly.
Because Sonya begins to excel.
Yeah. Because if your only thought process is really you want to sustain yourself through the Shrine, then now I think you have better options.
Sure.
With Yrel and Blaze. Before it was basically Blaze was top dog, and then the question was simply, okay, who else are we going to get?
Well, Garrosh banned out here for Team Liquid, a Mopsio special that we have seen from the leftovers, but when Mopsio was on Zealots, we had a little bit more Garrosh play. Abathur gets banned out, trying to keep him away from Infernal Shrines. And to be fair, we did have a Team Liquid play Abathur on this battleground, and they just out-macroed the game until late game. Fnatic had a really hard time.
It's a good ban against Liquid for sure. Fnatic had also problems with that composition that they could never force a fight. I think with a setup that leftovers are trying to use here, they would probably have a bit of a better chance doing that, but banning Abathur against Liquid is never a bad plan.
That was the map where Shrimpy didn't go BFG at 20. I actually talked to him a little bit about that. They were in the thought process they were so far behind that they had to just win a team fight, and so they went for the level 20 that give you the attack speed. The issue is that Team Liquid just never gave them the option. But that was a game.
But I agree with that choice.
Yeah, no,
because
I agree
the level 20 BFG is great. The problem with it is it takes a long time if you haven't really taken any of the big structures.
Yeah.
So if you feel you have another 10 minutes in the game, by all means, take it and take those keeps down and get the damage in. But if you feel, okay, you're so, as you said, you're so far behind that you need to win a team fight, then the 20 on the BFG is not going to give you anything, and then you need to get the team fight value.
Hanzo and Alex Straza comes out. Alex Straza once again being a support that controls the shrines well, and also very good in double tank compositions. If you have a lot of health available, you have more time for her cooldowns to come out, but also just going to kind of stay on that circle of life that comes out. So Alex Straza going to be looking pretty strong here, especially when paired with that Sonya. As long as Hanzo plays safe and doesn't get jumped on, which could be difficult with Yrel jumping around, they should be fine.
I mean, to be honest, we have now also them in a position where they have with Hanzo another arrow as a tool for CC.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. As we said before, if you are going for a Sonya composition, you're trying to drop targets, and Hanzo with the stun can start the process here or follow up on Diablo, and then Sonya can go in and hit that poisonous spear and take them there. The question is who's going to be the last pick for them, and
Yeah.
it should be a bit more on-point damage.
That makes me a little bit curious too, because I want to know if maybe we get the Dragon Zero into an APOC, which is an old combo.
I could have totally seen them going for Greymane if Leftovers wouldn't have picked it already.
Yeah, helping with the idea of deleting a target.
Yeah, you can easily go for a quick kill with him. You still have also a bit of outside shrine poke if you really need it, but then you would have Hanzo and maybe with that. But if you really look to delete a target, I think that would have been a good choice for them. But Leftovers picked that away.
Trying to think of what mage you would go for. Oh, they actually just go straight for Hammer for their final pickup. Their shrine control is spectacular. Their setup around an area, pretty darn awesome here. You don't like it?
No, I'm currently thinking about how Leftovers can engage into that.
Yeah.
Because I think Liquid has a couple of disgusting tools now. You have Hammer, first of all. Hammer already has some displacement where she can create some space for herself, but then you have Alex Straza around it too, so if that is coordinated well and Nurok does his job, then whenever Hammer is in actual trouble, you just pop Dragon Queen and you play around that. And Diablo with displacement as well, so Muradin and Yrel can both jump in deep, but can you actually get on Hammer and put the damage on her too? If Nurok drops the Dragon Queen, it's gonna be difficult.
The good news is in the early game, if they play it well, they don't have to force a fight on Sergeant Hammer. You have Greymane here, who can shred structures, and you have Muradin that can slow down rotations. So if you can find a spot where Team Liquid isn't quite in position to rotate the other side of the map and maybe stop Greymane, you could slowly chunk them down.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go for the first objective by any means. As you said, you can put Greymane on the side lane, and as long as Liquid doesn't react immediately, he can get value there.
Yeah.
So that would work. But it's definitely going to be tricky. I think a lot comes down to how well Yrel and Muradin are able to get into that backline.
It's all about dancing here as we head into game number 2, Infernal Shrines. Team Liquid is up 1-0 over the Leftovers, and the Leftovers are looking to tie it up. Here on the left side, in the blue, Leftovers. Mopsio playing Muradin, Boss on Yrel, Blackidney on Greymane, DAB on Phoenix, and Linked to play Deckard.
The Leftovers down a game in this best of 5, but on the right side we have their opponent. It is Team Liquid with Nurok on Alex Straza. We're seeing Arcana again on the auto attacker. Hanzo for him. Eternal on the side lane, playing Sonya. Sport Billy with Diablo. And of course, last but not least, Hazops with Sergeant Hammer.
And Team Liquid opens up with a fun combo you can pull off yourself if you're playing Alex Straza and Diablo. First off, Sport Billy goes into a Devil's Due, which again increases Regen Globes and Healing Fountains healing by 2.25% per soul. And Alex Straza is actually moving into the level 1 talent, Circle of Life. Once she catches 25 Regeneration Globes, she actually spawns a Regen Globe, meaning that Diablo in the late game is nearly impossible to kill if he has a ton of souls available.
Yeah, there's a lot of synergy that you have with the talents that you choose here. And again, with Dragon Queen, you also create a lot of the space that Sergeant Hammer needs to really control that shrine. But let's see how this is going to work out. At the top lane, we have Eternal now going together with Hazops, going up against Boss, and of course Greymane here as well. But that's definitely going to be a pretty interesting setup now, because it's always awkward going up against Hammer, let's just put it like that. It's always weird. You give her too much space and she immediately gets value for the opponent. It's difficult to get on her. But Leftovers, they have a lot of heroes that can really jump in. Greymane, Yrel, Muradin, so it's definitely the mobility that you will need to go for it.
Team Liquid realizing that they need to have quick rotations here to get those globes set up for Nurok, so they put Sergeant Hammer in the top lane to actually deal with Yrel, and then bring Eternal down to be in the 4-man. He'll be helpful for helping with the team fight if he needs to go in for an engage, but also he can grab mercenary camps. As you see already, he's grabbing that here to the top right corner as he grabs the siege camps, and as long as Team Liquid keeps an eye on him, he should be just fine to clear that up, and there we go.
Yrel also now rotating between lanes. Hazops on Hammer is ready to roll out at the top lane. He's just stuck in that position and pushes that back. But yeah, Liquid with the early game camps here, also going into a block for Sonya here. And Boss just still jumping around. And this is exactly what Hazops is going to have to deal with for a long time. The displacement from Yrel and her just trying to jump on him.
Already prepared for, though. Leftovers. Check out the bush. Mobsteel gets flipped, but Diablo should be able to get away. Sonya's going to head to the middle lane, have to clear out that Merc camp that was grabbed earlier. As Team Liquid continues to farm those region globes, sitting at 6 so far of the 25 that's needed. That's also another benefit of grabbing that Merc camp and having Sonya in the 4-man. You get that region globe for that Merc camp on the right side. We'll see them probably play for the one on the south too.
I'm actually wondering at this point what we're going to see on the side of Phoenix Ult. I think you can actually make a really good argument for Planet Cracker here.
Because you want to hit Sergeant Hammer when she's sieged up, or?
Well, not only that, but you have very close-off areas around all of the shrines, and the escape paths are usually pretty linear, so you can try and shut those down. And I'm asking just myself, how much value are you going to get out of the salvo here? I'm not 100% sure if with Planet Cracker, if you set that up properly, you're not going to get a bit more out of it. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do here. I mean, salvo is still, I would say, more likely. It's just like the more established heroic ability, at least in the European meta. But I feel if you want to make an argument for Planet Cracker, this would be a game where you could make that case.
The more you mention it, the more I actually like it. Stormbolt, Uriel dives in, Greymane hitting the target, even Curse Bolt can be there, and then you just follow up Planet Cracker no matter where you're out on the map. Eternal, though, taking some damage here on the front line, can't get the Circle of Life in time, and Sonya has been taken out quickly by the Leftovers, and they'll establish position on the shrine. Yeah,
Leftovers with a really nice kill here again, and they showed that aggression in the first game already, and it worked out for them quite nicely. The question just simply is, if they continue down the same playstyle, are they going to have the discipline in game number 2 to sit a bit, just to let some things go when the fight doesn't go according to plan?
Well, Sonya's on the way. Sergeant Hammer still on top. Team Liquid looks like they are going to get this up.
I mean, this one is lost already, so they know that too. The kill against Sonya was just too much, and therefore they're rotating onto the lanes. The first Punisher is still weak enough though, so that you can let it go, especially if you're able to push out the side lanes and get some value there. Leftovers should walk away with a bit of a lead in experience, but they shouldn't get much more than a maximum of the 2 towers.
Sergeant Hammer already sieging away. Punisher falls down to half health. And you're right, gets cleared up pretty quickly. Now the good thing for Leftovers is they spread out Greymane, as mentioned in draft, and sit him straight to the bottom lane. This allows him to buy a little bit of time here, break down that wall a little bit, maybe even get this turret. And look how quickly he shreds that thing. Immediately cleaned up. The rest of the Leftovers will join in to make sure that he can escape. That's what you'll see here. If Greymane ever has a chance to sneak off and get some damage in, he will definitely do it.
That was actually worth it. I mean, they got the tower at the bot lane, they nearly opened the gate so that they provide the vision. And I think in the mid lane, if they didn't get the second tower, then it was at least close. As we were moving down, the second tower was attacked by the Punisher still. And so that was, in structures, decent value for them. But as we said before, early Punisher doesn't get you as much. Now also that experience got distributed a little bit differently between towers and forts. We're not seeing them spike up in experience just too heavily. But it's definitely a setup in which they're now going to be taking that slight advantage to try and get an earlier level.
Leftovers sitting at about half a level over their opponents. Trying to get a little bit more too as they clear out this turret. There we go. I'm keeping an eye on this Circle of Life here. 16 has been grabbed so far, the 25. Actually pretty quick here for Alex Strauss. That team is working really well, trying to finish that region globe as soon as they can. And as soon as that finishes up, Diablo, again, will be a nuisance. And he's sitting at currently 72 stacks. So they are really powering up for that level 10 spike.
He's doing a great job with the region globes, especially considering that they did not win the Punisher, so they didn't spawn the extra 2 globes for him. So that works out really well for him right now. But we'll see how much value they're going to get out of it. Of course, again, the idea is that you get more for your Devil's Stew for Diablo, because Extraza will spawn extra generation globes, and that's going to be great sustain throughout any objective phase. But now Leftovers will hit level 10. And there's the question, what are you going to do with it? Are you just allowing your opponent to safely soak their experience until they hit heroic abilities as well? Or do you use the level 10 to force something on the map? Try and jump in, take a fort, force a fight, take a kill somewhere. And they're going for Spot Billy right now. And Billy's actually in a really awkward spot here. 10 isn't quite there yet, but they don't even need it. There comes the heroic, and Billy should be down.
Even stay a while and listen. There it is. Big cleanup. They were trying to make a play for Nurok, so Diablo set up a little bit to try and block Murder, but that wound up being his kill, actually, as Leftovers just turned around and focused Diablo instead. Leftovers finding a pig, jumping up and experiencing 10.5, and a great time too here before this next Punisher shrine will pop up pretty soon.
Yeah, salvo taken now. I like, by the way, that they committed to stay in while and listen. This is one of those situations where you are making a better safe than sorry play.
Yeah.
You don't want the target to escape, and the cooldown is going to be back in time. You can see it now, 25 seconds until the next shrine is activating, 36 until Deckard has his own heroic back. So for the fight, it will be there. And now they will have to also fight, of course, on even talents with the level 10s here. Still no talent chosen for Urel. We're going to see that in a bit. Good Girl has decided that she wants to be a bit more flexible on that.
Round 2 for Team Liquid on the Shrine. Round 1 was hindered by an early knockout as the Thermal got picked up before the fight even popped out. This time they're much more safe. You're waiting for Arcana to rotate in with that Hanzo, but Hasuops with that level 7, that Hover Siege coming online, already creeping his way towards the minions as he starts to clear it up. Here we go. Arrow comes out. It actually hits 3. Eternal steps up. Sport Billy moves in, goes for the combo. Stay a while, this will help out, but Neuron, he's a dragon.
And that was actually brutal. First of all, the arrow comes, and then Sergeant Hammer's ult. They're moving away from it. They might actually survive. Polyboss jumps out, and it's insane that the leftovers did not lose a single hero here. But Team Liquid with a triple arrow into a BFG follow-up from Sergeant Hammer. That was mind-blowing how much damage that did. It was absolutely brilliant by Team Liquid, but leftovers, they escape, and now tapped up after the fountain, they re-engage into the fight and look for a kill.
Team Liquid has a lead 35-14, so leftovers need to find the pickup. Now they move in, but the Crimson Flame comes out for a Thermal. He's trying to buy some time. He spins up a little bit. The immediate interruption of Polyboss will prevent him from getting the healing up. Now leftovers turns their attention to clearing out the Shrine. Can they get it? Polyboss goes in the back line, looks at Sport Billy too. He gets cleaned up, and he's taken out.
Mopsy, on the other hand, he's low, tries to get away here. Deckard keeping him alive. Good job by Linked. And Polyboss with a nice displacement against Diablo, losing the souls but coming back into it. 39 souls, 39 minions for Team Liquid. They grab the Punisher, but leftovers are still with 4 kills against 0, an entire level ahead, and this should be an easy defense for leftovers. A fantastic fight after the initial retreat that they had there.
They did reset Diablo though, so no souls on him, a little bit more squishy. Leftovers will spend their time focusing on clearing this Punisher out, already being cleared up. There is a Dragon Throw available for Team Liquid, so on the next jump, which should be up pretty soon, Arcana make a play here with the BFG to maybe clean up a target. There comes the jump, but Team Liquid decides to back up. They have Sonya in the bottom lane, and they'll play it safe.
It was really well done again by both teams. I really like the combo with the arrow into the BFG. Now, you normally will not get as much value as they did out of that first combo, because a triple arrow, in that case, that also lines everyone up for the BFG at the same time, is going to be a bit rare. But you don't need to hit 3 targets with it. If you just hit 2 or even 1 and delete it, that's all that you need to do. So that's going to be very powerful, especially combined with a Lightning Breath on Diablo. So Team Liquid with a very scary wombo combo setup. But leftovers doing such a fantastic job staying alive through it, retreating and then re-engaging, dropping first Sonya and then also taking Diablo out. Leftovers, I really like these guys. They are aggressive. I feel a bit more disciplined, and they are starting to contest top 4 spots easily. But Liquid is, of course, still in the lead in this series, and they might be a level behind here. But they still have all the tools that they need to turn this game around.
I mean, them initially surviving that wombo combo and the 3 that got hit was impressive in itself. And had Team Liquid not cleared out the Shrine as quickly as they did, Leftovers may have actually walked away with that Punisher. Before they had to re-engage, Team Liquid was already above 30, so definitely something Leftovers could have taken away. And we're really enjoying seeing what they can present here. The more I think about it here, though, with this quest finishing up finally for Alex Raza, the deadlier Team Liquid gets, Sport Billy will have a hard time falling, especially once he gets around 60 souls. Right now, he's only sitting around 30, but he's continuing to work that up, especially with this W build coming online for Diablo.
It's just also a question how much Aldo Peacekeeper is going to influence the remaining fights, because once that you get that damage reduction onto someone, that can be Sonya, it can be Hammer, you are going to have a massive impact in the team fight. And we talk a lot about the power spikes here, but you look at level 13 and it's not only Aldo Peacekeeper, it's survivability of Mirrodin as a synergy between level 4 and level 13 comes online. There's so many tools right now that also allow them to do a lot of work here. But both of the teams, of course, are going to heavily rely on that. And I feel another thing that works for Team Liquid is that as the game scales, Sonya is just going to become so much more tanky.
Yeah, that's very true, especially level 20 when Ignore Ping comes online for her as well. She'll be able to get it near Phoenix and Decker Kane and just kind of have her way with force in the fight as much as she wants. Leftovers starting up their night camp to this top left to have that pushing in. There is the news of Team Liquid still being a level behind. If the next shrine does not spawn soon, there will be a point where Leftovers could have a level 16 talent advantage and try to force a fight around that area. Team Liquid will have to try to go for their wombo combo, and if they don't get the kill right away, they will have to back up.
I like that they're staggering the camp now. So they have taken the camp already, but they haven't capped it because they see that Liquid took their own. So they're trying to make sure that Liquid's camp pushes in a bit more before they take their own camp to give them a positional advantage in the top lane. So Mirrodin has already claimed it now, but we're seeing now a situation in which Urel is going to have a bit of an easier time defending it, most likely.
All right, it's game time here. 16 about to hit for Leftovers. Team Liquid has a few members already circling around the middle of the map. They are trying to clear out that top lane as much as they can so they can make a play for that fort. Team Liquid plays it safe and slow, and with Greymane retreating from the bottom lane and heading towards the shrine, Team Liquid will have to start to back up. Alex Strauss is here for protection if need be.
Yeah.
As Team Liquid tries to clear out what they can.
There's Hammer being a nuisance once again, but we have the 5-man now. The 16 is there. They're already jumping in. Dragon Queen is getting popped early. Here comes Deckard with a lockdown attempt. Not quite working out, but they're going into the backline. Salvo comes out. Stay a while and listen. Sport Billy is low and he goes down. Portibos jumping in his face and locking him into the wall.
Leftovers played that incredibly well. First off, 16 to 15, they knew they had the advantage, but Mopsio jumps straight on a Sergeant Hammer, eats her knockback, forces her to go for her own cleanse, and then waits it out and then drops the Stormbolt afterwards when the actual ability for her to be unstoppable expires. And then the rest of the Leftovers, as a 4-man group, jump onto Diablo, who's by himself on the left side. Not even Nurok, who's dropping down the heals, bring out the Cleansing Flame, had enough healing to keep him alive.
Yeah, the Lord of Tame Kitties is what we saw there. Like, he was just bodied into the ground, had no chance. Was really well done from Leftovers to create the opportunity in the first place. But let's not forget about Greymane here, because his 16, of course, caters towards that Alpha Killer.
Yeah.
Makes Diablo now a prime target in every one of these engages. Mopsio again anchoring the play, but Sport Billy tries to turn around against him. That's not going to work out. Avatar is still off cooldown, can be used here. And I have to also give a shout out to Link. I mean, his scrolls that he so far throws out there are just fantastic to zone and lock targets down. They're doing great around this. They have the Punisher, but they're actually not even going for it. They're instead moving towards the top lane because they're realizing they won't be able to get the keep, and they know that pushing into the Sergeant, the sieged up Sergeant Hammer, is going to be tricky. So instead, they're trying to drop structures up at the top.
For Billy, tossing around Mopsio. Arrow comes out. There will be a 3-man stun.
Hammer.
Sonya slinking around.
Hammer.
The BFG connects with 2, 3, 4. Here comes the Inferno from the side. He wants to land a spear here on someone important. Can't get the DAB, so he turns around a Potibus. And Inferno gets a kill. But the Cleansing Flame, the dragon soaring above, cleans up that back line as DAB is taken out.
And at this point, you also have to... I mean, that was a fantastic combo again from Liquid, but you have to also criticize Leftovers a bit, because once that arrow connects, you need to know that the BFG is coming. It is coming, and you can see it on that minimap.
Sure.
And they actually got... 4 of them got hit by it, and that can't happen. Yes, you're trying to retreat here, but that is a moment where you have to spread out a little bit and dodge it, because Liquid didn't perfectly sync it up. Liquid actually had a bit of a gap there between the two hitting, so there was enough time for them to move out.
I don't know. Leftovers starting to get out of position again. Lakitney goes into Worgen form, tries to buy some time, goes straight for Arcana, but Arcana are able to survive, and now Nurok can bring the heals. Leftovers, very similar to game number 1. Loses a team fight, and seems like they're starting to lose their heads a little bit.
Yeah. Another stagger death here, and now you just have to take a breath, have to relax for a second, and realize that you're still ahead.
Yep.
You still have half a level lead over your opponent. Liquid is going to reduce that pretty quickly. But the keep in the mid lane has already taken a bit of a beating on Liquid's side. It's down to half HP. And Leftovers have done well in these fights. So once that they are... When they engage, when they dictate who to jump on, they do extremely well. So just take a deep breath and take it from there. But for Liquid, of course, fantastic position to get back into the game, and that's what they're trying to do. Trying to stagger even again as Mopsio is not being attacked here.
Arrow comes out. Yikes. BFG misses too.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If you don't hit the combo, you wasted 2 cooldowns.
Let's back up and play it safe now.
Also, again, need to throw out one of the things, because we're definitely going to have a couple of lulls in chat for this one, but one of the reasons why they actually threw that out and tried to get the kill, even though it was maybe not a prime opportunity, is because they realize if they throw it out there, they will have it up again for the next shrine fight. So they're basically saying, we can try and get that kill, and if we do, it's fantastic because we can push through the structures and snowball the game even more. But if we miss the combo, it's not the end of the day, which is simply because we can use it again once the objective is on. And if you look at the cooldowns right now, that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yep.
So it was one of those things where there's no real downside to it, since you're not going to be forced into a fight before the objective comes online.
And it's a target they could have easily killed too. If the dragon hits, and it hits into the BFG as well, that's going to be a Phoenix that's down to half health. The Scatter Arrow follows it up, and that should be a kill right away, especially with that Pierce coming online at level 16. Now, 20 about to hit for Leftovers. 19.5 for Team Liquid. The Shrine will be at the top, so 10 seconds here. Team Liquid will need to soak up 20, and then they need to decide if they want to fight.
Exactly, and both of them are going to have their Storm Talents. And this is now really one of the moments when Liquid is going to have the combo up again, and Leftovers will have to dodge some of it. Make sure that the arrow doesn't hit everybody, and if the arrow connects, then, and there is a delay between Liquid's BFG and the arrow, dodge that. But Liquid is actually giving this up for now. They don't get the 20 as quickly as they wanted to. So maybe not quite giving it up, but they're definitely losing out a lot on those minion stacks and might have to give it up eventually. Diablo actually showed on the minion wave just now, so they know exactly where they are. Mopsio is anchoring the place here. Here comes the arrow. Only hitting one. BFG is not going to be used in this case now, so this is an opportunity for Leftovers to put their own combo to the test.
They're going straight for DAB. Stay Wilson hits on the backside, but unstoppable for Diablo. Keep him alive. However, Murden finds a kill on Hanzo. So no arrows coming out. Eternal trying to do what he can on the back line, but he's being controlled.
The Punisher is also there, and he's going to jump pretty soon. DAB, there's his 20 that procs, but they might still get the kill. Not quite, as Deckard keeps him alive. Hammer is already gone. The Punisher taking her out, and Eternal is fighting to take at least Phoenix with him, but it's not really happening. Mopsio jumps back in. The Punisher still on the way. DAB is finally falling. About time, but Nurok is dead. Alex Straza gone, and Sport Billy in the next target for the Leftovers as they are going in deep, taking Diablo down. The Lord of Terror gone. He will respawn, but the Punisher is already on the way towards the keep.
Sonya needs to bait this over quickly before Mopsio can jump in, but Mopsio's already here, pairing with it, so he can jump in if he needs to. Team Liquid will play it slow. They will have Hanzo back in about 14 seconds, but this keep is definitely going to take some damage. It's a matter of how much more Leftovers can get. They will not have Phoenix with them.
The keep will fall. They are giving up the keep. They're saying, guys, let the keep go. Make sure that we don't lose the game here. Because if they try to defend the keep now and they lose one of the heroes that's already on the map, that's going to be game. Good choice by Liquid, not fighting for this one. Good choice realizing that if you lose another hero and stagger deaths, you will lose the game. So they simply let it go and move back there. But the fight was fantastic. I mean, we saw Sonya. We caught it actually on screen. Sonya went for Deckard, and Sonya went ham. She went in. And I really thought that Link was dead meat. But he kept himself alive the entire time. He dodged so much, he went through the potions, and there was just no way for Sonya to drop him. And with so many resources put into that and not getting the kill, that was a disaster for Liquid.
Poor Billy able to jump over. Nurok comes over to bring out the heals as well, giving that regen globe, which would help out Diablo. I will say the aggression from Sonya, as you mentioned, in the top, was pretty darn scary, but was also compounded by the fact that Diablo and also Nurok going in with Alex Straza, using that Cleansing Flame, which meant Arcana was all by himself. That's why I saw Murden jump on top of him and completely delete him. And
also, of course, Hammer getting annihilated there by the Punisher then towards the end of the final throw. That was also something. I mean, Liquid on that fight, they really wanted it. But this was a perfect example of where their combo just didn't give them enough value. The BFG hit Deckard, and that actually gave a lot of potential to take targets down. But the arrow into Hammer old comp, that whiffed this time. And that's something where you could really see, okay, if Leftovers dodge it, they have a good shot in these fights.
Ultra Capacitor picked up at level 20. Once again, giving that extra attack speed over to Sergeant Hammer when she hits enemy heroes. Looking to win these team fights around the Shrine phase. Team Liquid in a spot where they're down to 1 keep and a half. Half the keep in the middle lane, 1 keep to the bottom, and Catapult pushing in their top side. So from here on out, any punch that gets picked up could be game ending for them. Sergeant Hammer, of course, is a good way to slow down the game. And again, the 20 on Sergeant Hammer is something that you will see a lot more in Hero League than you will see in competitive HGC games. Simply because if you play that in Hero League games last a lot longer. Oh, Orbital, yeah.
Yeah, and it's always a question of how much time do you have to get value from the level 20? Do you need to win a team fight, or can you stall long enough so that you will get value through an Orbital? And right now, we're having Team Liquid just deciding, guys, eventually we need to win something here. We can't just wait and let them pound us into the ground.
And the extra attack speed will be wonderful for shredding down Murden. So Team Liquid immediately starts to grab this top right corner, and they'll have that pushing in. They're mostly grabbing this siege camp to make sure that these catapults aren't going to be too annoying near the next shrine phase. The next shrine should be spawning in the middle of the map here. There it is in about 30 seconds. Leftovers wisely waiting it out, though. They want to be the ones that create pressure. If they can have that pushing during the Shrine phase and put Team Liquid in a spot where they may make a mistake, that's a good move for them.
And of course now Eternal and his boys are going to try and do the exact same. They're going to wait for Leftovers to take their camp first. It's always the attempt of getting a bit of a power spike here. An equilibrium in the top lane would be fantastic for Team Liquid. And both teams now cap it at the same time as they're moving into the shrine to attempt to get position here. But this is another fight, 20 versus 20. And Liquid is going to have quite a lot of time, since those two camps are going to negate each other quite a bit. And even the catapults are only going to make up for that to an extent. So it's all about the team fight for now.
Dang, they even popped Dragon early here. They are committing.
They need it.
Team Liquid controlling space here well, protecting Hostile as much as they can, not allowing Mopsy to walk up and drop those Storm Bolts.
They need to pop it early because their keep in the mid lane is already half HP. Mopsio is low and barely gets away. That was a close call and Sonya falls. Here comes another attack against Sport Billy. He barely keeps himself alive. Lightning Breath keeping it in play too. Mopsio definitely needs to kick his trade in. He needs to go a little bit out of these fights so that he can make sure that he's topped up to re-engage into the battle once more. And he's trying to shock around here. He's moving in, misses the Stormbolt though. But Linked is already trying to help out. Kidney gets dominated.
He goes in, but he is controlled. Ponnyball's taking some damage as well. 34-23. Team Liquid is in the lead when it comes to this shrine. Sport Billy can engage if anyone is close by, so Leftovers back up. And Team Liquid, they take the Punisher.
It is the mid lane though, and that's why Liquid had to go for an early Dragon Queen here, because their own keep is at 50% health, but Leftovers still have a fort. So Leftovers can easily just buy some time, move back and wait this out, especially since Liquid is eventually going to have to send someone off to the top lane.
They'll have Sonya.
Most likely going to be Sonya, exactly, because she's back in 10 seconds. But that means that it's a 4 versus 5 with the Punishers. They can bait the Punisher over, wait for Greymane if they have to, and then re-engage. They might even be able to save the keep here.
Asuabs continues to siege away. Arcaner playing safe. Nurok in the back. Sport Billy wouldn't go for engage. BFG comes out. Hits multiple members. DAB has lost his shields. Combo comes out as they look for Ponyballs. But DAB is the target. He gets locked down. The shields are destroyed. The stay a while and listen's not enough as Phoenix is cleaned up.
And that's a massive problem. DAB down. That should not have happened there. And in this case, we have Greymane coming back. The keep is gone. We see Team Liquid with 88% on the core, but the shields are regenerating. Catapults are soon going to lock in again, though, so Liquid needs to be careful here as Sonya joins back in. 5 versus 4 now. They want to go for a game. They want to finish it now.
They want to try and go for it.
The core is losing hit points on the other hand.
Slowly but surely, Hostile continues to pass some damage in as he can. The back line, the catapults were finally cleaned up at Team Liquid. Their core is down to 80%. Team Liquid needs to win now. They are fully committing. Arcaner continues to siege away. Nurok in Dragon form doing what he can.
Eternal is on it. Sonya does so much damage on the core. That's exactly what they're trying to do, but they want to kill Hazovs first. Hazu is low. He keeps himself alive, but he goes down. They need to focus on Sonya now. With Hammer gone, Sonya needs to be the next target, and Eternal is just tracking away here. They are moving in. Team Liquid, they want the game. Hanzo is dead, but Eternal still spinning to win. 16-10, and they are about to go down. The Leftovers losing game number 2 as Team Liquid clutches out another victory.
Whew, that got scary towards the end there. That is for sure, but Sonya able to stay alive, keeping that more pain up. The Circle of Life even missing a little bit as it was on the top right side, but it wasn't enough. They were able to control just enough to take out that core as Team Liquid goes up 2-0 over the Leftovers.
Very, very close game though. Great play by both teams here. Liquid making it happen again, taking the 2-0 lead. But in no way does the score right now reflect the performance of the Leftovers.
Yeah,
12
Leftovers.
kills against 6, but Liquid, they got the 6 kills and that matters.
I mean, they really bounced back in a couple of fights. Leftovers, and a majority of the fights actually did a really good job of taking that initial brunt of the damage coming towards them, surviving it, tapping, and then coming back in. It just felt like it was always a little too late. Sergeant Hammerman, as you mentioned at the very start, she's one of these heroes that if you just can't quite get the engage you want, she slowly ekes out a victory over you.
It was the kill against Phoenix there towards the end. And again, the question is, do you just let it go and wait a little bit more? Don't even try to defend too hard. Just buy yourself some
Give
time.
the keep.
And yeah, give the keep and then go for core. I mean, hindsight being 20/20 here, but if Phoenix doesn't fall and you have Greymane back, you're in a great spot. But Liquid also cleaning up the top lane. Sonya quickly moves in, takes the catapults out, and then doesn't even care about the next wave that pushes in. Moves straight through the mid lane, tries to make it at 5 versus 4. Because Liquid knew that winning here would be their best chance to win the game. Since in all the fights before, they've really struggled. And that was the one Punisher that they took, the one fight where they got the initial kill, made everything happen, and said, like, guys, if we have to take another fight and they just don't die to the combo, we are in trouble. So Liquid, again, with great decision-making here. I really like the way that they present themselves, but Leftovers, again, I mean, these guys are looking scary.
Team Liquid, however, continues to look strong as they get another win here, and they are one game away from getting a 3-0 and going 3-0 in the HGC phase. We'll be right back after this commercial break.